All right. Is that clear?
Thank you.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right, awesome. So hello everyone again. I am really excited to be here with you today and just wanted to take a couple of moments to walk you through some do's and don'ts and also spend a little bit of time answering any questions you might have. So I'm currently the manager of business development at PCL Construction. Really quickly, my elevator pitch is we're a top 10 general contractor in the U.S. We do civil infrastructure, vertical buildings in LA County. We are a top 3 contractor. And all around the county, you'll notice some of our most notable projects, Staples Center, Bank of California Stadium, Dignity Health Stadium, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you name it. What you might not know about me and through my title is that 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to build PCL's diversity and inclusion program. So got to work with some of our leadership and in establishing what is now a robust subcontractor program that really creates opportunities for small diverse businesses, as well as a focus on workforce development. So what that means is how are we impacting the communities where we live and work? And so really excited to now be in business development and get to really help position PCL for future work. So let's dive right in and let me see if I can move my, okay. Now the challenge is going to be how do I move my slides? Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure how to move my slides. Okay, let's see if I can stop sharing for a second. All right, Miss Williams, I don't know how to move my slide. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, Robin. Did you use your arrows or your page up, page down button to?
I use the arrows within the system. There's arrows at the bottom.
Okay.
Did you, if you upload your deck, then the deck is going to sit there. Yeah, and then it will at the bottom of the page will be some advanced pieces.
And she didn't we didn't upload hers, and it's not moving at all.
It's on there.
Oh, you did upload it?
Yeah. Okay. If you want to take, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes,
okay.
we can.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So, and I apologize. I promise I'm usually not this super ignorant at technology. All right. So let's focus on do's and then Q&A. I think just automatically you're going to get a gist of what not to do. Do number 1, prepare and register, right? So I know that this upcoming event is just 2 weeks away. I'm going to assume that all of the attendees in today's event are planning to attend this matchmaking workshop on the 28th. But there's registering and then there's registering with intent. So what does that mean? Especially now in a virtual world, you have the opportunity to create a profile, you have an opportunity to create a bio. This is an opportunity for you to really explore the platform. So I want to encourage you, in this virtual space to take the time to register and register with intent. The second item I'd like to encourage you is to prepare. So what does that mean? So, what does it look like to start thinking about, okay, this matchmaking event that's happening in, a couple of weeks, what does it look like to actually put some thought into what you hope and wish to accomplish through this event, right? So who do you wish to connect with? What do you wish to communicate about your business? What does it look like to have some goals for yourself as far as, as I do this matchmaking, maybe you're going to connect with 2 primes or maybe 5 primes, or maybe 5 clients. It's really, really important that as you show up, that you really prepare to hold yourself accountable. And this is going to create, I think, an opportunity for you that when you're in the space, when you're in front of clients, you actually have a goal in mind. And the goal in mind should be to establish a new connection if you don't know the person in front of you or the person you're connecting with, or to really continue the development of a relationship. So for example, maybe you might meet my friend Michelle Ballard at Turner, or my friend Ken Billups at Clark Construction, or Kayla at PCL Construction. So if you've met these individuals before, really the intent of this forum that you'll attend should really be to further develop that relationship. I think attending events thinking that, hey, this matchmaking, I'm going to get a contract right this second, or today I'm going to leave, I'm going to exit this virtual platform with the contract, obviously is unrealistic. But what is realistic is the fact that you can further the connection, further the development, and actually the best takeaway for you could actually be to walk away with a follow-up meeting in hand. However, that's not possible if you're not really thinking about how you're going to prepare for this meeting. So make sure that you're spending the time, and this really applies to virtual meetings as well as in-person meetings. I think this, do number 3, which is review. What does it look like? I see logos on this platform already. What does it look like to explore, again, the app, the website, really taking in who's attending this thing. What does it look like to reach out to Libby and Robin and say, hey, like, how many contractors are you planning to include? How many construction managers, project manager, firms are you going to, are going to be included? What are the public agencies? If that information is not readily available, what does it look like asking? And what does it look like to review that information so that you're prepared and understand who's going to be in the room, in the virtual room, right? And so what does it look like in terms of that preparation to review and understand who's there? If you don't ask, you don't get. And so I want to encourage you, even in live, as our economy continues to open up, I attend events and I want to know who's in the room. So I will actually email the organizer and say, is there an attendee list you can share with me? And I review the list and just identify, oh, I remember this person. We've met twice. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to carry out, further develop that relationship. Or perhaps there's a specific project I'm looking at. What does it look like to connect with that firm with intent? Let's see. Do number 4, connect. So you'll notice a lot of these entities that are participating in these events all have a social media platform. This is a really great opportunity for you to connect with the public agencies, but also the contractor. I will tell you that, speaking on behalf of PCL Construction, all the things we're super proud of go on social media, right? And so as you prepare, as you review the list of attendees, what does it look like to know, for example, like the latest news about PCL? So for example, we just acquired a technology company. What does it look like to pause and review what that acquisition looks like, so that when you meet us on the 28th, you're able to say, hey, congratulations, I heard you just acquired a technology company. That's pretty awesome. Now you just differentiated yourself from all the other attendees because you know something about me, you know something about the company I work for. But furthermore, here's what that really tells me. That tells me that you totally prepared to meet with me and did just a little bit of stalking to understand who I am, what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, and you were savvy enough to connect the dot of, oh, I reviewed your social media, I know what you're up to, and now you're here presently with me, right? And so here's an opportunity to just start reviewing social media, connect with folks on LinkedIn if there are names available through the registrants list. And this is applicable to both private and public sector. So want to encourage you to connect. I think, you know, when you're looking at virtual events specifically, I really like when I'm presenting and there are comments coming through my presentation. This really hit home for me a couple of months ago. I was on a virtual event with the council member of my residential district, so where I live. The city council member is Kevin De Leon. He just came to office for the LA City Council. And, you know, while he was presenting, I snuck in a comment and said, hey, really awesome to meet you. You're the council member of my area. Really excited to hear about your initiatives. And what was really cool about that was that, I mean, I just made a comment without really thinking about what that would create or the consequence or the effect by that. But what was really awesome about that was that during the presentation, he actually referred back to me by name. Whoa, right? Like the council member knows my name. And not because I knew him beforehand, but because I leveraged the comment box. So being able to, you know, he was talking about, you know, how his agenda includes homelessness. And I told him, you know, obviously as an Angelino and where I live, he was able to say, you know, Priscilla, I know these are the types of things that are important to constituents like you. And it was just kind of a special moment because I was like, oh, whoa, like he actually understands like how to leverage the comment box. But more importantly, kudos to me for leveraging and including a comment. And so as people are making presentations, this is also an opportunity for you to stroke our egos. Right? As presentations are happening, if there's something that stands out to you, if there's a key takeaway, if you want to give an example, I mean, these are all great opportunities for you to chime in and include something in the comment box. Robin, Libby, is it okay to pause here and just see if there are any questions so far? I have 5 more views.
Absolutely, please do. Michelle, Holly, Christina, there's one other. Do you guys have any questions of Priscilla?
Excuse me, this is Michelle. I don't have any questions, but I love what you're saying because I really see the value in that. So thank you for, you know, continuing to talk about this because I think it is really important.
Thanks. Okay, any other questions right now, Holly or Christina? If not, it's... Go ahead.
Say thank you so much for sharing this. Your little tip about using the chat box is a wonderful idea. Thanks for sharing that. And then thank you for setting up and leading the charge for setting up the supplier diversity program within your company. It's so great to hear that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that comment box is pretty powerful. And there's a couple of other do's that you're going to see the comment box really be relevant. I think the comment box is also an opportunity for you to, I mean, there's just all types of information, right? So, so if you have a presenter, let's say PCL is presenting, you know, at this event on the 28th, you know, it's an opportunity for, say, you know, to say, hey, Kayla, I met your colleague Priscilla a couple of weeks ago, you know, say hi. Like there's just so many different cool ways to connect that you don't actually get in person, right? Like whether it's like a handshake or that awkward moment where you're like, do I know you? Like, I mean, we are able to multitask as a result of being in front of our screens. We can easily Google people, check out their social media again, and be able to plug stuff in. So that's want to really encourage that. I think this is also an opportunity, again, to just engage, not just with the presenters, but also with fellow attendees. And so again, virtual platform, this is like, I think synonymous to being at a dinner event where you're sitting next to someone and you guys are just kind of vibing. Based on the comment box, you can get to choose who you connect with. And I will tell you that, you know, part of relationship building, relationship management And being present, I think in these virtual events and platforms is you get to, you get to connect with individuals, and not just, for contract purposes, right? But really connect with people just in the industry, right? Especially, as we get back into, in live, in-person events, it's really great to just be intentional about just like expanding your network. Before it was like 6 degrees of separation. I know someone that knows 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 someone. There's an opportunity to create a 3 degrees of separation, 2 degrees of separation, right? But those opportunities will not give themselves or lend themselves unless you're being intentional, I think, about those connections. I will tell you that for me as a business developer, and even when I was building that diversity program for PCL, I think initially I didn't approach relationships like selfishly. I mean, I always knew like what I wanted to do and how I wanted to leverage relationships because I spent time preparing. But it was really important for me for that first initial relationship, that first initial encounter, to just connect at a human level, right? Like at the end of the day, it's still super, super basic. People do business with people they like, right? And so how do I set like a really great impression so that the next time I follow up, like there's actual excitement to follow up with me, right? And so that first initial engagement, I typically connect with people like, hey, I really like what you said about this, this, and that. Or like, hey, that's, I just noticed that you do the same scope of work I do. Would love to connect. And even with the general contractor and even with Public Works, it's really great to again, engage even in those personal chats. I was in a meeting yesterday morning with a colleague. I haven't seen this person live in over a year. And he said something that really caused an impression on me. And I just, sent him a personal comment and said, hey, like, are you doing in-person meetings? If so, let's meet for happy hour. Would love to pick your brain, right? And so just like that, we established a calendar invite. We're going to meet next Friday, one of my favorite spots in LA. And so was able to engage, right? And again, this is very different from in person, right? Because typically we'd be waiting by a platform while all these people try to connect with like folks that are speaking or folks that are in a panel or whatever, and waiting for like the line to subdue. And you're also challenged with like, how do I make myself memorable, right, to this person? Because they're going to get contacted, hit up by like at least 10 people in the room. So how do I stand out? And so I think through the comment box, like it's a really great opportunity to do that. All right. So share. This is also a really, really cool one. I was recently moderating a panel actually with Libby, and the panel of folks I was moderating were all utility agencies and gas, power, and
Water.
Thank you. Utility and water agencies. And as a moderator, one of the things that I did to leverage the comment box was, as my panelists were answering questions I was posing, I was actually researching the things they were saying and plugging in the links in the comment box. Super great way to make yourself a subject matter expert, or at least at minimum a resource, right? So I think we've all gotten really quick at typing. And so as people are talking, as people are speaking, it's very easy to say like, hey, check out this article. This is what PCL just talked about. Or, hey, that project that Clark just talked about, this is what that is. And plugging it into the comment box. I think, again, this creates an opportunity for you to meaningfully connect. And again, as the general contractor, really, the more you know about me, like the more, I think the more intentional our conversation gets to be, right? I can't tell you how many times I've connected with people both virtually and not virtually, and people have no idea what I do. Yet it says construction under my logo, and yet, we all have access to the internet. and so there's an opportunity for you to, prior to connecting, to do that little bit of research, connect with colleagues, connect with attendees, and also like show your research skills to the contractor, like as we speak and we're in the room. Just a couple of more here. Again, participate. This is also another really good one. Typically, especially through the Q&A, you ladies have done a really great job. So just the two people that responded back, it's really great to be able to participate with like a workshop. Again, it's an opportunity for you to stand out from like the group. So whether it's a question or whether you just want to validate a comment that was said. So the second person that spoke, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, but I heard you validate like, the program I helped build at PCL. So I'm like, oh, great, thanks. Like that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, right? Because you heard what I said and you repeated it back to me and thanked me. So that's really awesome. So I think in these virtual platforms and events, it's a great opportunity to say, Robin, I heard what you talked about, with the different certification and really appreciated your insight on this, or that, looking forward to the next one. It's a great opportunity to, again, kind of stand out from like the rest of the group. Plus, whether this is true or not, it indicates that you're paying attention and that you're totally present in the meeting. And we're all guilty. I'm guilty of accepting these virtual events, these virtual meetings, and totally giving it just 25% of my time, right? And so I take my camera off, I put them on mute, and I just lend like my right ear to what's going to be said. That's not all the time, but I have noticed that, if I choose to focus on the presentation at hand, really the more insightful questions I can have, and or the more insightful comments I can provide. And so again, in these virtual events, the intent is, I think, as you're exposed to clients, both peers, public works, general contractors, is to carry on that conversation and not look at this as a one-off. I think, the planning is really, really important, because again, I've seen people do events out of their car. And, I remember this one specific event I just did last week, and this person was in their car holding their phone. And though I appreciated her being on the chat, plugged into the virtual event, I was like, oh man, I wish she actually would not have even shown the video, right? Because to me, like selfishly and totally raw, I will tell you that I'm like, she totally did not plan to be part of this event, right? And so it just kind of creates a pre-formulated thought, at least it did for me, with this person being in their car. Now, I have no idea what happened. If an emergency happened, have no idea, right? So I acknowledge that, but I'm also acknowledging the fact that like there was a pre-formulated thought by just the way this person showed up in the meeting. And so, for those that are here with us today, what does it look like to totally plan out, to create like a space for yourself? The virtual platforms are not new to us. We've been doing this now for 13 months. We should all be experts at muting ourselves, at displaying our cameras if we're going to give undivided attention. I think that's a really great way to connect with the speaker and nod. And I know I'm always looking if there's opportunity to have like a gallery type of view of attendees. I'm checking into that gallery. If they have their video on, I'm looking again for that validation or facial gestures of like, no, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Just like I would in a live event, I'm kind of looking to make eye contact with someone. And as I speak, I'm looking to connect and hoping that maybe a word I say lands for someone, right? Because that's the whole purpose of this, is to like help shape each other, sharpen each other, and advance. And so want to encourage you to plan out when you're going to do these types of events. It's totally fine. I know some people are very I don't know, are very strict about if they're going to do a virtual event, they don't even have coffee with them, or they wait for someone else to, I think, to just kind of break the silence with like the coffee cup. I'm that person, right? Like, I'm not trying to posture. Like, I want to be totally comfortable. I'm here. I am present. My video is on, and I'm going to have a super cool cup. It won't be like The Office, like Greatest Boss, but I'll have a super cool cup, and we'll totally engage. And I'm here. And so want to encourage you to also do that. I have been in matchmaking events where the people matchmaking with me don't even show their video, right? Like, so I have no idea who I'm talking to, but this person is hoping to do business. And so just, sort of trick of the trade, when possible, turn your camera on, get your upper wear on point, right? No one's going to see, probably below like your waist. Very easily opportunity to connect. And then I think this is my last one, and this is like follow-up. This is such an important item, I think, and this is applicable to just any relationship you engage in. Prior to coming to PCL, I was working for a small woman-owned business, a consultancy, and this is actually an item I learned very early on in my career, and it was just connect with intent, but connect really to follow up, right? It's so my business card, I gave you my contact information, and you didn't reach out to me, and you find me at a new event and you're doing the same pitch again. Here's the thing, I have a great memory, so I'm going to remember that we've already met and you didn't follow up with me, right? And so, and if you catch me a little bit sassy enough, I might even call you out on it, right? But it's really important that when we're connecting with people, that when you're connecting with people, that you just, sorry, my camera went away. But when you're connecting with people, that you just provide, you provide some follow-up steps, like, hey, what's the best way to connect with you? Do you prefer like email? Is phone better? Is text better? Because all this has to do with, again, that relationship management. Plus, again, it's really about developing that relationship, right? And even though it might not result into a contract 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4, maybe by the 8th or 10th connect, once, general contractors or prime see your persistency and your consistency, perhaps, that'll be an opportunity, to connect now meaningfully to talk about business, because they see that you're totally delivering and that you're connecting. You put them as a priority, right? I could not approach a client and say, connect with them at an event, do no follow-ups, and then the next time totally talk about business, right? Like, I mean, sure, you could absolutely do that, and that's your prerogative. But here's the thing, for PCL, we're looking at creating meaningful connections. We're following relationships, not contracts. And so, really this is the last tidbit. Follow up, super, super important, and make sure that you're even planning for this, right? Like, maybe don't plan to follow up the immediate day next day after, but maybe plan to follow up that week, or maybe the week after next. Use your Outlook, put a reminder for yourself, and make sure that you're connecting. So with that, I am open for Q&A. I don't know if there's anything else